Welcome to a Sunday worship moving into stillness practice. What this practice is an opportunity to move around with a purpose. Maybe using your practice as a moving meditation or a moving prayer. This video was recorded during the Covid-19 and just wanted to send out good vibrations, actually some good prayers to our world that we live in. And thank you for joining us. If you're new to yoga, know that you can rest anytime you want to rest. Come back to this child's pose anytime you want to come back into child's pose, and just take a few breaths, restart at any time. Okay, coming into your breath, breathing in and breathing out through your nose. Setting a personal intention. And taking that intention into your downward facing dog. In your down dog, spread out your fingers. Wiggle your toes. And taking this opportunity to connect to every one of your breaths. Today's practice is more or less a 5 breath and move style practice on the front end, and on the back end we're going to move into a yin style practice to open up and stretch. A few more breaths in this first downward facing dog. And taking ragdoll at the top of your mat. Taking your feet 2 fist widths apart, grabbing your opposite elbows. Let your upper body get heavy. Let your head get heavy. All the negative thoughts that you may have in your head just drip out onto your mat. Stretch out your shoulders, take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, and open up. Lean a little forward and press out through your heels. Rising up into mountain pose, extended mountain pose. Awaken your fingers. And bringing your hands to your heart center, samastitihi. Let's practice. Big inhale, reach. Breathe out, bow. Halfway lift. Come all the way down to your mat, or halfway down, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. Take your gaze forward. Bend your knees, stepping or floating your feet to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, bow forward. Inhale to rise up, stretch your fingers. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, halfway lift, chaturanga, low push up to upward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog, breathe. Look between your thumbs. Bend your knees. Bring your feet to your hands. Lift up, take a breath. Bow down, breathe out. Inhale all the way up. Squeeze your core, bow forward. Halfway lift. Stepping back, low push-up, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. On this next breath in, look forward. On the breath out, feet to your hands. Lift up, inhale. Breathe out, exhale. Inhale, rise. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Your vinyasa. High to low push-up. Upward facing dog. Press back, downward facing dog. Breathe in, look forward, empty out, feet to your hands. Big breath in, full breath out. Press down to rise up. Exhale to bow forward. Flatten your back, stepping back, low push-up. Press down, upward dog, collarbones back. Downward facing dog, rolling over your toes. Look forward, feet to your hands. Lift up and breathe. Fold. Coming into a chair pose. Sink down, reach up. In this first chair pose, just sink a little deeper than you want to go. A lot of times we set ourselves up into that easy street. Sink a little lower and then bow. Halfway lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior one. Energy in and energy out through your breath. Take the back of your left wrist, stretch over to the right. Squeezing your back leg. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left side warrior one. Breathe in as you come up. Taking the back of your right wrist, stretching over to the left, squeezing through your back leg. Not really wanting to overdo or underdo. Chaturanga. Breath in, up dog. Breath out, down dog. And this down dog, what you're grateful for. Special person. Special place. Feet to your hands. Halfway lift. Deep bow. Chair pose. Bow. Inhale. A vinyasa. Right side, warrior one. Maybe you interlace your fingers here, sink a little deeper, and stretch up through the tips of your fingers. Hands to your mat. Option for handstand kicks or handstand go up. Slow chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back down dog. Left side, warrior one. Breath in. Feel your feet. Opportunity to press your palms together and lengthen to the tips of your fingers. A little handstand play, hands to your mat. Handstand kicks, or raya all the way up into handstand. Looking for 5 breaths. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, back downward dog. Breathe. I am grateful for the weather today. Look forward, feet to your hands. Lift up and breathe. Bow down, breathe out. Chair pose. And you're going to lift your heels, come up on the balls of your feet, take your arms forward, but squeeze your shoulders into the center line of your back. Squeeze your core and sink down a little lower. Bow forward. Breath in. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Warrior one. Right side. Just using these sun bees to heat up your body. Open out warrior two. Setting your gaze right over your right first finger. Open your palm, reverse your warrior. Lizard. Take your hands to your mat, walk your right foot out. You can come onto your forearms or support your arms with blocks or just stay up on your hands. It's a little hip opener. If you can, keep your back knee lifted and squeeze your back leg. Lizard grabbing its tail. So you drop your back knee, reach back for your foot, or reach back like you're shaking hands with your right hand, looking over your thumb. Put a little bend in both elbows and lift up your chest. Open up. Look up. Release. You're going to the back of your mat. Skandasana. Sink down in your back heel. Lift up your chest. Stretch out your front toes. Switch sides. Sinking down and then lift up. Squeeze your belly. Stretch your toes. Coming into pyramid. Straighten your front leg and spin your back heel down. Put your hands on some blocks. Just mostly right chest over the right thigh. Stepping into standing splits. You can take your right hand behind your right calf, your left hand behind your right ankle. Stretch your upper toes. handstand L kicks or hop all the way up into handstand. Five breaths or 5 hops. Squeeze. Flare your toes. Slowly chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, left side, warrior one. Come up. Breathe. A gratitude flow. What you can breathe in and what you can give back. Warrior two. Moving into a reverse your warrior or exalted warrior. Sink a little deeper and then stretch up through your fingers. Lizard. Elbows on the ground, elbows on blocks, or you can stay on your hands. But if you can, keep your back legs straight and squeezing it. That's where a lot of the work is, really. Lizard grabbing its tail, coming up, left hand to the right foot. A little bend in the elbows, and then by pressing down in your front foot and your back thigh, lifting up your chest. Maybe take your chin up and back. Pyramid pose. Spinning the back heel flat, front leg straight. Talking to your hamstrings, reaching into your hamstrings. Keeping the body healthy. Standing split, stepping onto your left leg, lift your right. Right into some play, so the left hand behind the left calf and the right hand behind the left ankle. Turn your world upside down. Handstand kicks. If you're not comfortable with handstand, you can always take crow or play with crow. Go up. Trying to balance off the wall. Trying to come down into crow. Oh. Yogi squat. Bow forward. Halfway lift, fold, chair pose, right up. Tippy tippy toes, cactus your arms. Release. Inhale. Take a vinyasa. Flip dog, right side. Lift your right leg. Roll over. I love to put my fingertips on the wall and use the wall to open up, get some resistance. It's kind of like a personal assist. High plank. Downward facing dog. Flip dog. Open up. Left side, side plank. Left hand's going down, right hand's going up. Stretch your toes. 5 breaths. Lift your right leg. 5 breaths. Release, left knee down, raise your right leg, take your right foot with your right hand. Just kick and open. Through a vinyasa. Down dog. High plank. Right side, side plank. Right hand stand down, left hand's up. You're breathing 5 breaths. Squeezing your belly. Lift your left leg. Release. Drop your right knee down. Take your left foot with your left hand. Kick and open. Kick and open. Kick and open. Vinyasa. Right side crescent lunge. Step, rise up. Maybe interlace your fingers and stretch up through your fingers or tips and squeeze your back leg. Twist it out. Left elbow outside of your right thigh. Open up, warrior 2. Side angle. Reach down, grab your inner right ankle, and come into an extended side angle. 5 breaths. Half moon. Step it onto your right leg, lift your left. Maybe float your right hand. Chapasana, so maybe grabbing your left foot. Big toe side if you can. It's an external rotation of your arm. Just opening up the collarbones. Kicking open. Moving into dancer, so you're leveling out your hips, coming up. Warrior 2, moving into triangle, straightening the right leg, right hand on your shin, or if you've got a block. Just dropping your ribs. Starting to lean back. Pyramid, both hands going to the ground. You can step your back foot midway up. Great place for blocks under your hands. Take your eyes, your drishti, your gaze to your right big toe. Twisted pyramid. Left hand outside of your right foot, right hand's going up. Extend your chest forward. Vinyasa. Hmm. 5 breaths. Left side crescent lunge, coming up. Get your footing. Stretch through your arms. Just creating energy up. So many times I see people sinking down, trying to get bendy, but we're really pressing down in order to lift. Into your twist. Right elbow outside of the left thigh. Squeeze in. Warrior 2. Right into side angle, grabbing your inner left ankle, moving into extended side angle. Just reaching through the fingertips, pressing back through your back heel. Half moon. Step into it. A great place for a block under your hand. Everything is ignited. Maybe a little float of your bottom hand, using your core strength. Chapasana, grabbing your foot. Kicking open. Going to take this into dancer's pose. You're going to level your hips, come up. If you don't have your foot, come up and grab your foot. Take dancers. Grabbing your right foot. Elegantly start to release it, land warrior 2, and then into triangle, straightening the front leg. Hand on the shin. Roll open. It's trying to square your hip bones toward the side wall versus the upper hip pointing down at your mat so you can get your bottom hand on the floor. Release pyramid. Both hands come to the ground. Level out your hips and breathe. Twist your pyramid. Take your right hand outside of your foot. Stretch your left arm up. And then lift by pressing down. Open up. Chaturanga. Low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Ha. Knees between your hands. Coming into camel. So you're going to take your hands on your low back. Up and open. 5 breaths. And sit back, take an inhale, and on your exhale, right back up, camel, second set. Open up. Making sure you're pressing your hips past your knees, not your knees past your hips, and then a lift of your heart. Release, sitting back, curling your toes under. This is kind of like cat-cows here today, so you're going to inhale one hand on your heel, other hand up. Exhale, come back down, and inhale, right hand up, left hand down. Inhale, exchange, release, exchange, release, exchange, release, exchange, release, exchange, and release. Moving into a stillness practice. So moving this into a 2-minute and 3-minute style holds, a yin style practice. So any blocks you need, any support you need, have them near you. So just curling your back toes under here, sitting on your heels, prayer pose or fire toes, happy toes. Take a big breath in. Take a big full and let go. Couple more rounds of breath. And release. Move into a down dog. Then into left side half pigeon. Set up for it. And release. Let go. How fast you can move into some stillness, a meditative state. Acknowledge your breath coming in and out. Another full round of breath. Inhale and exhale. And release. Start to make your way to a seated position, taking your right leg long, take your left leg on top of it. It's called half or half Gomukhasana, so half cow face pose. So you're taking your left leg over your right, kind of trying to stack your knees. And it's a great place to put blocks underneath your elbows as you lean forward, or you can even take your hands behind your back. You can also sit on a block here. When I started, my hamstrings were so tight that I always sat on a block. So that's an option here. Big breath in. Full big. Starting to release. I'm going to move into a Janu Shashara variation. Your right leg's extended in front of you, and you're going to draw your left leg back. So you're going to bend your left knee, foot by your side. You can put your right hip on a block or a blanket if you need to kind of elevate that, and you can start to lay all the way back, halfway back, or just sit back. I'm still pretty tight in my hip flexors, so it's not really possible for me to lay down all the way comfortably. You want to stay in that comfortable discomfort zone. So too much is when you're holding, unable to let go, and just notice that if that happens to you. Remember to be kind. Big breath in. Big giant. Release. Come up. Just bend your knees. Take your knees to the right and to the left. Bending both knees, moving them right and left. Left and right. Back and forth, side to side. Moving into a right side half pigeon. Any support you need, a block underneath your right hip, a block underneath your left thigh. Setting your pose up intelligently so you can surrender. Different than holding and punishing. One more giant breath in. One more clearing. Coming up. Moving into half Gomukhasana. So this time your left leg's going to be straight. Your right leg's going to be bent. And kind of bringing your right heel toward your left glute. Trying to press your knees on top of one another. Maybe starting to lean forward. Bow forward, maybe taking your elbows on blocks or maybe your hands behind you, wherever you need to be. Just moving in, back into your breath. Steady breath in, steady breath out. Full big breath in. Big giant starting to release, making your way up. Janushara variation. Right knee's going to be bent, left leg's extended, right foot, right heel next to you. You can take your left hip on a block, a blanket. Definitely when I started, I had my straight leg hip on a block or a blanket. Focus in on your breath. What are you breathing for? What is your breath about? Giant inhale. Full exhale. Starting to wiggle out. Making your way to a side-facing wide leg fold. So a great place to sit on a block here or a blanket to get your hips a little bit elevated. If you need, you can have your hands behind you. If it's impossible to walk your hands forward, or you can put blocks under your elbows. Just making this practice accessible. Doesn't have to look like anybody else's, because it's not. It's yours. Your gift to yourself. An opportunity to reset. Full big breath in. Big giant. Releasing frog. Right into it. Don't even bicker. Don't even go there. Just come right into frog. Knees about 90 degrees out from your hips. Ankles about 90 degrees out from your knees. And then feet about 90 degrees from your legs. bunch of 90-degree angles, basically. Lay down. Start to take your drishti, your gaze, to one side or the other. So you can put a block underneath your chest, put a block underneath your forehead. Lots of ways to set this up if you're like, wow, this is way too much for me, like it was for me in the beginning. You can even take your feet up against the wall and create this pose. Up against the wall, feet wide, toes open out. Just let go. And if you've been looking one direction this whole time, take your gaze the opposite way. Shift. Equal opportunity. Fill up on breath. Inhale. Open your mouth. Exhale. Making your way to laying on your mat flat into Sphinx pose. So you're going to be on your forearms. You can put your forearms on blocks. I don't have any blocks with me today. Giving yourself what you need. You can even come down a little lower if you've got pain in your back. Front body opener right here. Opportunity for a little add-on if you like. You can put your palms down, lift your elbows. It's called seal. Just take your back bend into a little bit bigger opening if you like. No have-tos. Breath in. Big full. Relax all the way down to flat. Let your spine stretch out. And make your way to a seated position. We're going to do a few minutes of box breathing or 4-part breath. So with that, you can sit any way you want to sit, cross-legged, any way. Come in, let your eyes close, get comfortable. You can sit on a block here. You can sit in hero's pose, fire toes, whatever you want to choose. So the way 4-part breath is going to work is you're basically going to breathe in for the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause for 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold breathless for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathless 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Pausing 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathing out 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale or empty 1, 2, 3, 4. Breath in 1, 2, 3, 4. And you've got this. You do it on your count, using more or less 4 count, 3 count, 5 count, somewhere in there. I just ask God that my life be filled with purpose. That my life, when I want to be in fear, that I turn things over to you. I ask God that you use me to serve. I ask God for forgiveness for all the things where I fall short. May I be slow to anger and quick to forgive. In your name, Lord. Amen. Stay here, finish your 4-part breath. Hope you have a great day. May God bless and keep you. Namaste.